The act or process of parenting helps to promote and support the physical, emotional, social, and psychological development of a child from infancy to adulthood. Parenting involves all the intricacies, or if you like, the nitty-gritty of raising a child to become independent and useful to society, not necessarily exclusively for a biological relationship. Some persons believe it ought to be a full-time job, but for the economic scramble that characterizes modern times. Others are of the view that raising a happy and healthy child is one of the most challenging jobs a parent can have, but also one of the most rewarding if pursued with patience and commitment. However, it has been observed that parenting is not being approached with the same focus and commitment people put into a job. And this is taking a toll on society because the family is the building block. And what goes right or wrong in the family reflects manifestly in society. It is often said that the rise in criminality in society today is a consequence of bad parenting. Whether you agree or differ, the wide range of views and perspectives on today's program will certainly provide insight as we focus on the consequences of good and bad parenting. Welcome to 30 Minutes on NTA News 24. I am Mitaire Ikpen. In our first report, Lydia Sampson furnishes us with analysis of what good parenting entails, the duties and characteristics of a good parent, and the advantages of good parenting. It's over to you, Lydia.
Have you ever heard the saying that he or she is from a good family? Then you will understand that what you do as a parent makes a difference. This is because your children are watching you. It is in the light of this that experts advise that parents don't just react on the spur of the moment or behave contrary to norms.
A good parent is how you bring your children up in a moral way. And moral way has to do with godliness. It doesn't just have to do with traditional morality or whatsoever, but I think godly morality. And either in Christianity or Islam. These are the two things that can bring a child up in the best way that you will be confident of your child wherever he goes.
Well, we'll start by saying, in the first place, parenting is like a privilege given to us by God to see how to raise children, in the way that they will go and end up becoming good people in the society. So good parenting basically is standing in the right place to give children or your words the needed kind of discipline that will impact generally on the society at large.
They said it is often pertinent to ask, what do I want to accomplish? And is this likely to produce a result that will wrongfully influence my children?
Parents, first off, takes care of the need of the child. That is the foremost importance of good parenting. Then, besides providing what the child needs, you have to look at the moral values of that child. You have to train that child in a way that he will be acceptable in the society. That is what I think the characters.
Raising your child or your children in the appropriate way, in godly manner, seeing them doing the right thing, bringing them up, teaching them what they ought to know from that very level, that childish level. At least it's a level of maybe from a year. You begin to teach them some things. You show them this, that. Before you know it, they will catch up with whatever you needed to see them achieve or understand in life. And you have to show them how what they should do part-time, where they should go, especially when they are growing up, where they should go, who to mingle with, how to make friends, what kind of friends are there to mingle with or make. So you have to direct them on the way they should go.
Good parenting, expert says, helps to foster empathy, honesty, self-reliance, self-control, kindness, cooperation, and cheerfulness. Experts are of the view that it also promotes intellectual curiosity, motivation, and desire to achieve sustainable growth. Good parenting also helps protect children from developing anxiety, depression, eating disorders, antisocial behavior, as well as alcohol and drug abuse. This, however, can only be achieved with good relationship with your children. It is believed that if you don't have a good relationship with your child, he or she is not going to listen to you, talk less of believe it when you try to correct them and direct them on the right path. Now, think how you relate to other adults. If you have a good relationship with them, you tend to trust them more and listen to their opinions and agree with them. Well, it is the opposite with someone you just don't like, because often will ignore their opinion. It is therefore critical that parents are their children's best friends, confidant, and role models with whom they will continue to communicate on all issues.
You rest in your old age because it won't be nice for you to, if you don't give your children a good morals and up good bringing, at the end of the day, maybe when they grow up, it will not be nice for you to hear one of your child stolen and then is in the prison and all of that. Because if there's a good upbringing and morals, even at your old age, you have peace, you have your rest. That's it.
Well, apparently, good parenting is a good nation. Good parenting is a good community. You know, without the home state, you would not be able to have a good nation at all. The characteristic is having the fear of God and molding your family in the light of God.
Parenting is a very tedious work now. Parenting is, I used to describe it as a profession now, and parenting is a full-time work now because we have discovered, we have seen that there are so many emergency parents and there are so many accidental parents that we have witnessing now, and that is why you even see children the parents you can't even differentiate them between the children which they are raising because they do not understand the concept of parenting, neither do they appreciate what does it take not to take care of their children. So this time around, good parenting now, I mean the ability to be able to look at the way things are being, the way you would do it. I can always tell people on the member that for you to be a good parent, you first and foremost have to train yourself to be what you want your children to be, to look like. If you don't do that, no matter what you say, no matter how much you say, no matter how much you spend, it's going to be a waste. And that's what we are witnessing today.
Parents, no matter their schedule, also need to be more involved in their child's life. Being involved takes time and is hard work. Sometimes it often means rethinking and rearranging your priorities. It frequently means sacrificing what you want to do for what your child needs to do by being there mentally as well as physically. This, expert says, will help nip in the bud any unethical behavior.
You have to be godly. Number one, you have to be godly. You have to know God, to show good example to your children and to the people around you. Have a good, a good behavior. You understand? Behave well so that people can come and interact with you and tell you their problems. A good mother look for people to come and drink of, how do I put it? Try to know how their life will go. Try to know things about life. You understand?
Take for example the child that his parents trained well. That child will have respect for the society. He will have respect for the elders, In fact, a lot of advantages are in good parenting. Any child that the parent trained well can never see somebody and degrade him, They will have value for human life. Yes, that's why a lot of things happening these days. You see a lot of young children, because their parents didn't care for them when they were little, So they grew up to be nuisance in the society. But by the way of good parenting, if that child grows up, wow, he'll be an added advantage to the society. Yeah.
Ironically, the opposite is what obtained with most parents leaving their children at the mercy of households who, in addition to initiating children to wayward behaviors, have nothing to lose as long as they are paid.
When you have a child, some people have a child, they will not even care maybe they are somewhere. Their own is just to send money to them. Me, as I'm concerned, I don't believe any of my child to stay for one place for 2 years. I don't know where you are. And a good parent is supposed to be like that. Some of them, you don't know the type of work they are doing. And they will send money to you. You will say, my son, my daughter. And it's a bad something. Don't love money past your children.
Advantages of good parenting, number one, I can say, one, a child who, if you train up your child, the advantage you gain is, number one, you won't be called a useless parent, bad parent, because by the time your child behaves outside or do any wrong thing, that will come to the house, that will point at the kind of parent. Yeah, so when you teach them properly in a good, better way, you will not be embarrassed. No police will come to your house knocking at your door. You understand me? And so many other things. You will have, when you called for prayer in the morning, they will join you. When you're going to church or any godly gathering, they will follow you.
If you take care of that, your children, perhaps your family will be better for it, your community will be better for it, you yourself will be better for it, and the nation will be, because what constitutes a nation, it is the family. What constitutes the community, it is the family. So when the family is not well taken care of, the entire country is collapsed. The entire family system is collapsed. The entire society is collapsed. So we have to put it in our mind that the government should even be serious in enforcing that parents should take care of their parents, and government should also help in making sure that the children are taken care of by their parents. And government should not also forget that the main important thing of governance is not just security, but it's also welfare.
Traditionally, good parenting is imbibed in almost all communities in Nigeria. That is why, while some families are held in high esteem, others are regarded as perpetrators of evil and wickedness. Ironically, the reverse is the case now, with the major yardstick being wealth. It is the reason why the craze for wealth has sent many parents and their children on the wrong path, leading to unimaginable, dastardly wicked acts of inhumanity. Expert says parents can still change the narrative by turning a new leaf and guiding their children on the right path.
Little wonder it is said that the best kind of parenting is leading by example. Our second report by Thomas Mitaire highlights the consequences, or if you like, the influence of bad parenting and its link to some of the ills in the society. Let's see what Thomas has for us.
Good parenting is in high demand and highly demanding. It requires a lot of deliberate efforts to achieve. It involves persistent instructions and corrections to put a child on the right path.
I like to say that parenting is responsibility. And if you are opportune to be a parent, you have been opportune to be given responsibility that you should partner with God to do. You need God's help, but then you need God's help, one, to live right. I like that word discipleship. You are living on a path and you are bringing those whom God has given you the responsibility to parent on that path. You are discipling them. You are training them. You are bringing them up on that path. So you cannot tell a child, don't be rude to people. Don't be rude to your contemporaries. Don't be rude to elders. And you, as a parent, you do otherwise. So what you want to bring, what you want to imbibe in your children, now moderates the way you live your life. Moderates how you do things. Moderates how you spend your time. A parent that is out at night clubbing with his friends, not there to do assignments with the children, that's bad parenting, of course. And so, parenting is responsibility. Parenting would change the way you live your life, change some decisions you make. It will change the way you relate with your spouse. You want to relate with your spouse. I mean, you don't want your child, for example, to relate with his world in aggression. You can't be aggressive with your spouse. In abusive words, you can't use abusive words on your spouse. And even on the child itself.
Children always want to have their way and can cajole parents to show them excessive love. Sometimes the good intention of parents may have negative consequences and effects on the family and the society with overindulgence.
Consequences of bad parenting. Definitely it will first of all bounce on the parents before it will even bounce to the society, because the parents will first of all bear the blame. But if you look at the other way around, most people that are parents now too were not properly trained by their own parents. So how do you expect maybe a woman or a father that did not get the proper training from home to be able to give to the ones he or she has produced? It's what you get that you give.
If good parenting leads to good products of society, bad parenting could have ripple effects on the family and society.
Bad parenting gives birth to at-risk youth, which means you have exposed your child to so many ills of the society by failing to be a good father to the child. So the child is exposed and vulnerable to drugs. The child picks up his direction from the streets, and you know what you get from the streets. So if the parenting at home fails, nature does not allow vacuum to be created. The child needs that parenting. It's not given at home. The child gets it from the streets, and you know what you get from the streets. So the child suffers first. He roams the streets, surfs through the internet, makes friends, and nobody is there to guide him that you don't make such friends like that. These are the people that you are supposed to befriend. Nobody is there to tell him that because of the failure of parenting. So at-risk youth, drugs, sexual abuse comes in. Lack of focus comes in. Dropping out from school, truancy comes in. And then it compounds the problems of the society because of failure of parenting.
But at what point do parents lose grip on their children?
You know, most parents nowadays, we pursue money too much. Money. We don't even have time to stay at home with our children. Even the little time that we have to stay at home, when they bring issue up, we don't listen. We keep postponing. We don't want to listen to them. So when we cannot listen and we cannot bring solution to that problem that they are seeking, they will seek help from outside, maybe from peer groups, maybe from older people. Some will lead them into the wrong acts. Some did not start just smoking. Some maybe because of loneliness, no show of love. They see their friends doing it and they are happy. They said, okay, if this kind of life will give me happiness, will give me love from the society, why not? Let me join them. So that is why you see some children going left, while some are going right. Even the parents too. Some parents are still going left. So they don't even know the proper way of coming to the right side, that they will be able to drag their children to the right side. And some people you see from a very tender age, they'll go and dump their children in boarding house. What are they doing there? When properly they cannot even take care of themselves. You're going to put them in boarding house. The home training they have not gotten, you dump them in the hands of the teachers. The teachers are not the parents. They can only do little. They can't do much. But we, the parents, we have much to do to bring these children up in a way that when we look back, we'll be able to smile. And the society too will be able to smile. But if we don't sit with them, we don't bring them up because we just want to travel here and there, we throw them to the hands of the housemaid or we throw them into boarding house, I don't think it will come out fine. Let's learn how to sit at home and bring up our children in the way they will be able to stand on their own before we throw them into the society.
The holy books have examples of what parenting entails and how best to bring up children.
Allah calls upon the parents. He said, "Oh, you have believed. Oh, anfusakum. Save yourselves, wa ahlikum, and your family. From what? From the fire of hell." Then Allah described the fire of hell. Now, in that general terms, we can understand from the provision of this verse that one, it is the responsibility of the parents first to save themselves from destruction, and then second, to save their words from destruction. We might want to look at it from this perspective. Allah started with the parents first, then the children.
Eli, we're told, was not a very good parent, and it had its own its own implications. Now, strangely, Samuel was a good person, but you can see, reading through scriptures, he didn't really have time for his children. And so his children grew up not to be as good as he was. They followed almost the same lifestyle, the same examples as the children of Eli. But if you read through the scriptures, now Samuel's grandchildren now did well because they followed in the line of priesthood and served the Lord.
Proper upbringing and training of children cannot be overemphasized in the bid to multiply virtues in society. On the flip side, children who are not properly brought up may become prey to vices in the society.
Bad parenting results to banditry, kidnappers, robbery, all manner of devices.
The consequences is disaster to humanity, to a community, to the country, and to the entire world.
The consensus is that good parenting could be a form of antidote for crime and criminality. Therefore, parents must give parenting the kind of attention that it deserves.
As a parent, you might as well conduct some self-appraisal. How good have you been as a parent? What adjustment is required in your style of parenting for your benefit and the good of society? Thomas Ogbetire's report brings us to the end of this episode of 30 Minutes on NTA News 24. Don't forget that children are gifts from God, and how we mold them translates to how society is molded. No doubt, good parenting can save the society from the ills of banditry, kidnapping, armed robbery, terrorism, ritual killings, and other criminal tendencies. Till we come your way with another interesting topic, I am Mitaire Ikpen. Thanks for watching and see you next time.